All right, we're here. Nicholas Pare is here. How you doing, Nick?
I am good. How about yourself?
I'm very good. I think you're definitely the first father-son combo now to have on the on the thing. So I guess congrats on that if that means anything.
Thank you. It's an honor.
So we have business to get to here. You have a new single coming out. Watching the World Go By yourself, and it was with Jackie Henley, who.
Correct.
So how did this collaboration kind of come about between you two?
Well, so I go to McDaniel College, and so does she. So that's where yeah, I know, right? College, yay.
Yay, we love it.
So that's where her and I initially started talking to each other.
Yeah.
She had been in some of my classes before, and I guess I just didn't notice her, didn't talk to her or anything. We actually met this year in the fall semester, or maybe it was the spring semester of the past year. And she was wearing 80s band shirts all the time. Motley Crue, Skid Row, the stadium tour or something like that.
Nice.
So I said, "Hey, do you like that kind of music?" And she said, "Yeah." And we got to talking, and in class we have our MacBooks out, and she had a Kick sticker on her MacBook. So
Oh, well.
I was like, well, funny story about that. So then we just got to talking, and then eventually that led to me figuring out that she can write and she's a good
Yeah.
writer. And I just don't think that she'd been given an outlet for that yet. And she's not trying to be a songwriter per se,
Yeah.
but she has good lyrics. And so I put some music down and took what she had and reworked it just a little bit. But then we ended up with one song, and we have two more in the can, but we're going to start with this one.
Yeah. So based off of the teaser that you posted, it seems like not the vibe you'd expect from two 80s rock people. So how did
Absolutely.
it kind of shift to that?
Certainly. And that's the same thing that I said because I've been known as the 80s rock guy for a
Yeah.
long time, and that's cool. But I've also discovered Oasis and Britpop of the 90s mixed in with some modern stuff, slowed down a little bit,
Yeah.
not fast rock metal stuff. And writing kind of went that direction for me recently, and it worked out
Yeah.
great because the stuff that she has is in that vein. And
Yeah.
so that partnership worked in the songwriting aspect because even though she's also in that group of 80s hard rock and hair metal, if we can call it that, she's her icon. Like I have the Beatles and Oasis, she has Taylor Swift. So
Okay.
the Taylor Swift influence, she's kind of all over the place a little bit with her influence, but there's certainly uh a pop influence there.
Yeah. So the other stuff you guys have, is it similar to that as well then?
More depressing.
All right. Well, this is good. So for you, has it just always been music for you? Because you've like been putting out solo albums since you were like 17. You've been playing shows at your high school. Has that just always been your thing?
Yeah, music, man.
I wonder where that came from.
No clue. It
No
just
idea.
dropped out of the sky.
Yeah.
No, obviously from a young age I was exposed to it,
Yeah.
and it wasn't something that I was pushed towards, which is good. It was something I was
Yeah.
naturally gravitated towards. I love playing guitar. Everything that I've done music wise has either been helped or influenced by or inspired by my influences, which number one, from a young age, my dad. Um, he's helped me with
Yeah.
everything. So I'm appreciative of that. Except for the single though. He didn't know that any of that was going to get
It
released or
was a
anything like that.
surprise.
Yeah, that was just me and her.
Nice. So now a lot of younger musicians, like they'll start a band or something, whether they do covers or originals. You took a bit of a different path. You just like dropped a solo album.
Yeah.
So what was the thought process with that? Was that just always something that you were gonna do? You're just like, fuck it, I'm doing this.
Well, when I got to that point, I was a junior in high school when that came
Yeah.
out, and I had really wanted to write because it's okay playing other people's stuff, but writing for me is where I have fun and that's where I'm excited.
Yeah.
So going that direction with it, I was about 17 and I had some songs And I really just kind of wanted to go through the experience of making a record.
Yeah.
And that's what ended up happening. I made a record. Some of the songs were also co-written by Sean Frazier and my dad because I found an old cassette tape that was a demo of something that they'd been working on in 1991, I believe. And so I started playing it and
Yeah.
I was listening to it and I said, man, this is some good stuff. Like, whatever happened? And they were like, well, it never got done. So there's two songs, Driving My Own and Laugh. Those were two that got from their demos to my record 30 some years later.
Well, it worked out.
Yeah, it was fun. And they're good songs.
Yeah.
So
And so you also have another album out, Box of Rain. So you did music for a Grateful Dead documentary that was produced by Lonnie Frazier, not Sean. But
yes, correct.
so so how did that all come up, and like how was that experience working on it? Because that's also, you're just doing like so much different stuff at such a young age. Like how is it doing all those new experiences?
It's great. It's fantastic because it's work, right?
Yeah,
And in the music space, work can sometimes be hard to come by. So anytime something comes along, I'm more than happy to
yeah,
do it. Specific to the documentary though, that was a lot of fun to work on. So she reached out to me and said, I'm working on a project. It's not something that's in your typical space,
yeah.
but can you help me? And so I ended up writing, I don't remember how many songs were on there, but it was all stuff that was included in the film. And for some of it, I didn't even play guitar. So it's a
Wow.
wide range of stuff on that
Yeah.
album. So that was pretty cool to work on a soundtrack.
Yeah. And so you told me that you have like more documentary work coming up too. Is it similar to what you did with them, or are
Yeah,
you
so
doing
it's
other stuff?
I believe it's going to be the same production company.
Okay,
Um,
awesome.
and that's it's the director is going to be Lonnie, so she's going to be working with me again, and I'm looking forward to that as well. I haven't started doing anything yet because I haven't seen any footage, but I do know that it's coming soon, hopefully before
Yeah.
summer ends, so I can have some time to grind it out. But it's a different process because when you sit down to write a rock song, for me, it's a lot easier than having to watch film and put music to it,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
different.
So how do you do, like, do you just write down like a general idea that you're picking up on like from the film kind of?
Yes, and I'll also take into account if she has notes for me, like
Yeah.
make it feel like this or make it sound like this. But it's actually kind of funny because she doesn't speak the music lingo that we do.
Okay. Yeah.
So she's giving me words like happy and make this sound confusing. And I'm like,
Okay.
okay, we'll work on that. And then I do my best to make it sound confusing.
So how does one make something sound confusing?
Uh Honestly, I don't know. I played something until I got confused by what it was that I did. So just
It
to
works.
musically speaking, using borrowed chords and
Yeah.
interesting harmonies.
Yeah.
So
So are we doing any rock writing as well? Are you working on any solo stuff, or with Everrise maybe? Are you working on any stuff like that?
yes, both. So Everrise is in the process of releasing the original songs that they recorded when my dad was still with them.
Yeah.
So everything that was recorded, I'm not on any of it, but I'm going to be playing his parts live.
Okay.
That's in the process. I don't have a timeline or anything like that because I think we're just kind of playing that by ear.
Yeah.
My own second album, so to speak, um, is going to be, I'm hoping sometime either by the end of the year it will be done recorded, and then next year sometime it'll be put out. That's going to be cool. There's a pretty long list of names that are going to be contributing, some of which are pretty big names, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
And it's all stuff that I've written. So it doesn't get better than that for me.
Yeah. So how long have you been writing these songs? Has it just been since memory? You've just been working on
No,
ideas?
because after memory, I stopped playing for about a year. And during that time, when I didn't play, I was always listening to music, and I think that's kind of
Yeah.
when the crossover happened from me being like, I love Megadeth and all the 80s stuff to then switching to um the Oasis Ghost. I really like Ghost too, and they're going to
Yeah.
come through as an influence on this album as well. I don't want people to think I'm only soft now. There's going to be some metal-ish stuff on there.
Yeah.
It's going to be all over the place, but it's going to be fun. There's going to be something for everybody.
Yeah. So how do you decide like when the album is complete, like just track listing wise? Because you don't have any labels or anything that are like up your ass about this. So how do you decide? It's just when you're happy with it, it's done.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and that's the problem is I have so many songs that
Yeah.
when I was discussing it with some people that are in the industry and they were like, "It sounds like you have two albums." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, how do I have two albums? I don't have any because nothing's out." And they're like, "Well, just hold on to some." So, we'll see what happens. It might turn into two records. It might turn into one big one
Who
or
knows?
one little one.
You can do a box set.
Yeah, I'd love to. Who doesn't want to get the Pare box set?
I think if you put that up, I think you'd get some decent sales. Throw in some guitar picks, you're all good.
Absolutely. Picks, I'll give them anything. Strings, just please buy my music.
Please. That's a good sales pitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're still playing out live. You got an Ever Rise show coming up next month at the Blue Ridge Sportsman's Association. By the way, you should go. I've been to that place. It's very fun, very nice.
It's a cool
But
venue.
but are you planning on doing any more like solo shows once you have maybe some new music out? Are you going to try to do any more of those?
Yeah. That's also kind of in the process of getting worked out because I certainly want to play these songs live.
Yeah,
It's just a matter of figuring out the logistics of it
yeah,
because ultimately to get the recordings the way I want them, there's going to be a lot of contribution,
yeah,
vocally as well. Um, and sometimes if you have like two singers, like Memory had two singers on it. It had Kyle from Everrise and
yeah,
Sean, and we couldn't do the songs Sean did when I was playing with Kyle because Kyle didn't sing those. But I think at this point, I don't really care if we get to that stage where we're starting to play. Just whatever singer I have can sing whatever it will be.
yeah,
Yeah, but also, the other side of that is I want to make sure the songs are done first before I start taking them out and playing them for people.
that would be helpful.
Yeah, it
So
would be.
so because you have a lot of collaborations on the new record, are you looking to do more stuff like you've done with Jackie? Like just do more like featuring Nick Pare, like producing other people's stuff, mastering other people's stuff.
Sure. That's something that I'm absolutely open to. Session work, helping people produce. I do have some friends that I'm helping them record. They have maybe five songs that they just wrote together for fun. And they hit me
Yeah,
up and said, "Do you think you could record these for me?" And I said, "Absolutely. Send me the songs." So they sent them to me. I listened to them, and every song I had notes on it. And I said, "If you want me to be a producer, I can give you the notes on these. If you
yeah,
just want me to record you, I'll just record you." So we're still in the process of doing that. They're taking some notes and they're also leaving some notes. So
yeah,
but yeah, anything. Um, I know that I don't really know what the thing with me and Jackie's going to end up doing because it's just for fun.
yeah,
So I mean, if people listen to it and like it, and she's not a musician in the aspect of she doesn't perform or anything like that. So getting her in
not
front of
yet.
a microphone, yeah, yeah, we'll see about that. Um, Getting her in front of a microphone, even at just at my house where we recorded it, that was a learning curve for her.
Yeah,
But she said she's interested in recording the other ones that we have. The music's done. My job's done. She's gotta come over. She's in Paris now. So when she gets back, sometime she'll probably swing by and put some vocals down, and then we'll have two more.
yeah. So when you do the producing, are you self-taught on that, or have you learned from like being in the studio with other people? Because it sounds like you know what you're doing if you're like adding notes and stuff.
Well, yes and no, because I don't think there's a right way to do it, like a by the book way to do
Yeah,
it. But I can listen to a song and tell you what I like and what I don't like in terms of the technical side of things, especially in terms of music. I'm
Yeah.
not per se a producer where you could just bring me in and I'll hook everything up and engineer it all. Not great with that, but from the perspective of let's look at your song and write your song and then record it properly. Yeah, I feel like I'm proficient in that, but I
Yeah.
also don't know because I've never done that in a for hire big situation.
Yeah.
So I know how to do what I can do, and I think that the stuff that I've worked on before has turned out well.
Yeah.
So
Well, so what's something that you haven't done that you want to try to get done at some point? I mean, you're pretty sure you have time on your side here,
yeah, I
but
do. I should have a couple years in front of me. Um, you mean like just in terms of like playing?
just whatever in the music business, something that you haven't been able to do yet because you've done a lot already.
I have. I'm very grateful for that as well. I would say I don't know. The first thing that popped in my head would to be able to play my own music in front of an engaged crowd. I
Yeah.
think that I mean I've done that before. Like we play "I Want More," which was the single off of
Yeah.
"Memory." We play that with Everrise, and the crowd reception to it's great. But that's also with Everrise. It's not with my own thing. So
Yeah.
just kind of getting that gauged and ready to go. I think that would be probably my next step of things that I haven't done that I want to do. But of course, I still have the same dreams as every other musician. Like
Yeah.
M3 would be fun. I would love to play M3,
I
but
mean, you're
obviously
right
I'm.
there.
Oh, what do you mean in terms of distance?
Location, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you
I mean
might
I
as
could
well.
drive there. Yeah, but obviously that would be a long way down the road. But
Yeah.
stuff like that, like dream goals,
Yeah.
be able to tour.
Yeah. Which is tough now. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Nowadays,
I
that's
I know because every time I get enough courage to say that to somebody, especially professional musicians, they're like, "Good luck."
yeah. A lot of them are like, you don't want to trust us.
Yeah, I know, but you do what you got to do.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that is a perfect way to end it, Nick. If there's anything that you want to tell the people, force them to buy your stuff.
Yeah, please buy it or stream it or whatever. We're tired of eating the shitty McDaniel food, so we need
Can't
to
be
be able to
worse than
get.
mine.
How bad is yours? Do they cook
uh,
the chicken?
there was food poisoning that went around one
Mm,
1 week, so debatable.
well, okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Nick. Everybody go stream by. It'll be out in a few days. Goodbye, Nick.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Of course.